Oh. I'm Matthew Horkey. For the last 7 years, I've traveled around the world tasting thousands of wines annually in search of the most unique, exciting, and expensive bottles on the planet. Do you like sweet wines? Well, I'm here to tell you, I kind of like them too. When people start drinking wine, they usually start with sweet wines, work their way to white wines, and then big, heavy red. I was the exact opposite. I started with massive, structured red wines, and as I get more and more, deeper and deeper into the wine rabbit hole, I find myself drawn to, respecting, and even craving sweet wines more than dry wines. Some of the world's greatest and most historic wines are sweet wines. We're talking about Port, Madeira from Portugal, Constancia from South Africa, Sauternes, Vendu Naturel from France, Tokaj from Hungary, and the great sweet Rieslings from Germany. Today, I don't have those serious, big, age-worthy sweet wines. I have fun sweet wines that are refreshing, crisp, and I'm talking about Riesling. Not all Riesling is sweet. That's a misnomer. In Germany, for instance, that produces 40% of the world's Riesling. I think I saw a figure that 80 or 90% of the Riesling produced in Germany is actually dry. That being said, these Rieslings are slightly sweet. I've got a couple here. 2 are American Rieslings from Washington State, and I wanted to see how they would compare to a German Riesling. Riesling can be really confusing because some people want dry Riesling, some people want sweet Riesling. I think you need to ask the shop owner what you're actually getting so you're not confused. In Germany, the system is a little bit easier to understand. Well, I say easier if you know the law. I have a sweet Kabinett here. Kabinett does not mean the level of sweetness. It only means the level of sugar in the grapes by the time of harvest. You can have a Kabinett Trocken, which is dry, or a Kabinett sweet wine. On top of that, if producers are a member of the VDP, this little organization of about 200 of some of the best German producers, if you ever see Kabinett on a label, you know it's going to be a sweet wine. Oh, those pesky German wine laws. Okay, let me simplify all of that. When you look at Rieslings, you got to look at alcohol level. If you see something that's 10.5, 9.5, 9, and even lower, you can use that as a gauge that's going to be an off-dry wine, slightly sweet wine. That's kind of like the cheat sheet. This is kind of a face-off episode, although I have 3 wines instead of 2. Question for you guys. Does a face-off mean just it's a one-on-one? Or can it be 3? I know when I start to get into 4, I don't think it's a face-off anymore. First, I have the Chateau Ste. Michelle Riesling from Columbia Valley 2021. This comes in at 12% alcohol. Says right here 3 grams of sugar per 5-ounce glass, so we know it's going to be a little bit sweet. Chateau Ste. Michelle is the largest single Riesling producer in the world. This wine's screaming value. Comes in at under $8. I've seen it sometimes at $7.90. So if this is awesome, I'm gonna really highly recommend it. Next up, we have the smaller producers of Côte, Bonneville. This is the Riesling 2021 from the De Breuil Vineyard. This comes in at 10% alcohol. So looking at the alcohol levels, I assume it's gonna be sweet. Looking at the website, yes, they're trying to make a German style sweet Riesling. This comes in around $20, $24 depending on where you can find it. And finally, I have the Bassermann-Jordan. This is the Kabinett Riesling 2021. I picked this up in Germany while I was judging the Mundus Vini competition. 9.5% alcohol, so I'm a big fan. I love sweet Kabinett Rieslings from Germany. Producers love them so much, they often put Grosslage, Grand Cru fruit into them, which means some of the best vineyards. Sweet Rieslings are great because they're lower in alcohol, they're refreshing, they can be drunk during a hot summer day when sometimes it's more like beer weather, and they go great with spicy food, Asian food. I know that's the stereotype, but I really like these with Southeastern or even South Asian cuisine because in those dishes, there's a lot of sugar added in the cooking process. So you have sugar, acid, spice, it works out real nice. Hey, that's kind of cool, right? I have a confession to make too. It's towards the end of the summer and I want to drink something refreshing, so that's why I'm doing this episode. You ready? I'm ready. Let's taste some sweet Riesling. Drinking out of my Gabriel gold glasses today, not the standard edition. These are amazing glasses. Unfortunately, they're always sold out, so I don't have any links for you, but these are maybe my favorite glasses ever, as I just knocked one over and I would have cried if it would have broke on camera. I'm excited to see how the one at $7.90 stacks up to one that's triple the price. Let's start out with the one here on the left. Very Riesling-y nose, and what I mean by that, think of baked apple, lemon flavors, white flour. I have to say, this nose is a little bit shy. Riesling usually explodes, almost like a fresh cut white flour. Yeah, it's a little bit muted, it's not as expressive, so it leads me to believe that this might be the cheaper wine. Oh, off-dry Rieslings and any kind of great sweet wines you made with grapes with high acidity, the acidity washes your palate clean. You get that sensation of sweetness, but the acidity really just cleans off the palate. It's almost like the soda 7-Up. Yeah, this wine already, number 2, way more explosive. Same type of flavors, lemon, slate, baked apple, white flour. It just smells crisper. I feel like this one has a little bit more sugar, but it's a little bit more explosive on the palate. Let me compare to this one again. That's the cool thing about comparing wines. You really learn. Wine number 2 has a little more acidity. It kind of tingles in the mouth. This one has a little bit more weight on the mouth, but this wine is just a little bit more explosive, just a little prettier. Let's try the third one right here. It's so funny. These feel like more like fresh fruit. This feels more like a kind of baked apple, more going into dried fruit. Does even have some apricot flavors. You still get the white flour notes, but these feel like a little brighter, so to speak. This is the sweetest out of the bunch. Number 2 here, it feels spritzier. The wine just kind of comes right off the palate. More mineral driven. This is crispy. Man, this is really like 7-Up, or even another good comparison is frozen ice, that frozen lemon shaved ice. That's what this tastes like. I think this is the German one in the middle. Let me see right here. Here's the difference here. Acid freaks like me are gonna love number 2 a little bit more because the acidity just cleans the palate. I think this one is more crowd pleasing, so to speak. You really feel the weight of the sugar. As I'm swirling in the glass, more complexities are starting to come out. This is a super good wine, whatever this is. I just prefer this style. Okay, you ready for the reveal? Okay, let's go in the order of least preferred to most preferred. I think right here, this was the cheaper Riesling because it was just muted, it wasn't as expressive. Still a very good wine. I still have it in like the 88 point type of range. And if it's the Washington State wine at $7.99, I'm gonna say that's a heck of a bargain. And it is. This is the Chateau St. Michel Riesling Columbia Valley 2021. Nice wine at that price point. I just prefer these 2 other ones more. Now, here's the difficulty. I think this wine right here on the right is going to be more of a crowd pleaser. However, I prefer this wine. This wine actually might even end up being a better wine in the long term. Has more sugar that helps with the aging potential. But I don't know. I prefer the lightness, the crispiness of this right now. Let me just double check real quick. This is a better wine. This is a better wine. There's more complexity here. It's just right now, this is the style I want to drink. I mean, I'm talking, this is like 91 plus type of wine. This is like 90 plus type of wine. Let's just go in order of score. What I prefer. Okay, so like 90 plus. I think this is the German one. It is. This is the Bassermann-Jordan Kabinett. Lighter, crispier, more of a summertime wine, real delicious. That means really strong showing by the Côte, Bonneville Riesling de Brule Vineyard 2021. 91 plus type of points. I'd love to know, do you love sweet wines? Do you like sweet Rieslings? Do you have any favorite producers? Drop it in the comments below. I'm gonna drink some Riesling. I'm super happy. Cheers.